So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, beautiful, happy paper people. I'm greeting you here from the lovely state of Vermont in the northeast of the United States. And I am very excited today because we have a special guest that has been around with us for some time, but today the focus is on him and his work. Talo Kawasaki is an origami artist and teacher, currently living in Brooklyn, New York.
My background was in advertising and graphic design, and I spent a good almost 30 years in that business. And so I could bring all of that sort of knowledge into these tiny little cards. Leila, you may want to explain them a little bit.
Okay, let's go ahead and we go back and forth between one thing and the other because there are so many good things. Artist trading cards. Artist trading cards are small works of art, usually made on cardstock, that are traded between groups of people or between two people. It doesn't matter. As long as they can be traded, it can be 2 people or 100 people. Usually people organize a swap, and it can be either in person or online. These artist trading cards existed not just for origami, but for any medium. So people can make them and trade them. But since a few years back, a couple of people in the origami USA community decided that this would be a good topic for our origami practice. So artist trading cards must measure 2.5 by 3.5 inches. They have to be traded for other cards. They cannot be sold or bought. It's just a trade. They need to be flat enough to fit into a plastic trading card sleeve, and they have to be signed and dated on the back of the card. So each artist in the group creates a set of cards. In this case, let's say it was Talo. He created 4 cards. I don't know how many, but for the example, he created 2 cards, one per member of the group, and then he sent them away. And in exchange, he received cards from the other members of the group. So we can have a good collection of artist trading cards. So that's our definition of ATCs. So do you want to show one, or should I go through the photographs that we have here?
Why don't you go through your slides of artist trading cards?
Okay, great.
I can comment on them, or...
Yes, let's go ahead. Okay, we have this.
Okay, so this was a more complicated one. You still have the card, but I created it so that it would hold a little origami paper gun, and I fashioned it so that it would shoot rubber bands, and the target had a hole in it so that's you knew you got the target when it went inside, and the little bang kind of belly band was there to hold everything together.
That's great. And how many of these did you make?
I remember I'm making them for convention, and this was early on at the Origami USA convention in June. I think I made for that particular group over 30 pieces. Wow. And I actually enjoyed the whole production process. You get into a certain mindset of doing it, and for some reason, I guess I like to use rubber stamps. I created the bang rubber stamps that you see here, and then I had some other sort of stamps. I just like the look of that. It just feels more arts and crafty. You'll probably see that happening with some of the other pieces as well.
Okay,
I
let's move.
also, often have a sixth sense of humor too with some.
We'll see it in other cards here.
Yes, Moby Dick. That's basically what I was creating here. One thing I did try to do was give it a little more dimension. What you may not see very well is the bottom half of the card is has a layer of acetate, stiff, clear acetate, which I painted over to suggest some water or depth to the model, and the background is just watercolor paper that I quickly brushed with some watercolor, leaving little speckles to suggest the waves.
Excellent. That's excellent.
Here I was trying to do a little King Kong sort of card. And, you know, the truth is, if you're doing origami ATC cards, all you need is a card. Well, I try to question that sometimes. All you need is a card and a piece of origami, and then glue it on there, you're done. That's all you need sometimes. Here, I wanted to do more. I gave it a more three-dimensional look so that I would put little tabs and stuff to elevate some of the pieces, the little graphics, as you can see. And again, I just like the idea of creating my own sort of hand-cut rubber stamps to just give it a much more of a crafty feel to it.
Right, and a personal touch, a real personal touch. Okay, let's move on. We have several cards here, and I think that of these are all great. I mean, but I think that I'm going to ask you to describe the one on the lower left, because it's so interesting and so much yours.
The lower left. Oh, the lower left. Okay. I was, for some reason, I was looking at the one with the pizza. The left one, the lower left one with the four different elements, that is a rebus. And it was designed for the convention at Origami USA in, I think, 2010, or maybe it was 2011. I don't remember which. It's a rebus, so that means it's a pictogram that spells out some sort of word or phrase. So I don't know if you can figure out what I folded here, but maybe it was a reference both to the guest, the special guest at that particular convention. Can anybody guess who that? Very good job. So Kazuhiko Kawasaki, no, Toshikazu Kawasaki was the special guest. And that was why I made this particular artist trading card.
Okay, and I would love you to go through the pictogram and spell it out.
Oh, I think John did in the chat. Did you see it?
No, I didn't do that. No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
But you have to spell it out for us. You did?
In the chat. He did.
Ah, okay. Okay, great.
Yeah. Kawasaki.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, let's move on. This is a special card that is animated. You can, as you see, you say pull if you dare, there is a little tab. So tell us about this zombie.
Well, the zombie card was, I think it was for Origami Heaven's origami ATC swap, and it was for Halloween, and or maybe I'm confusing it with another ATC, but anyway, I remember. Oh, you know what? I might have done it for this other private swap, but the idea was I'm going to fold a tiny skull. That's for the head of the zombie. I gave it some little synthetic hair, and I made it a point of using glow in the dark blue paint for the arms and feet, and as well as for the skull head. So this zombie glowed in the dark if you set it up properly.
Excellent. Very good. And it
you know, another artist trading card that pushes the whole idea of making it a card. Leo, can you show what I did on the screen? I made this skeleton, and again, I used the same sort of skull for the head, and then I cut out all these little joints for another sort of Halloween themed ATC. Here I do have a label on the back, but what I wanted to do with this card, as well as with many other cards that well, the Pizza Rat one actually is similar. The idea is, can I do an artist trading card without a card? So another way of playing around with the idea and just being a little sort of extremely playful on the mischievous side.
It's a way to really literally get out of the square, get out of the box. Okay. So thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to have you here, and we look forward to have a conversation again about so many other aspects of origami that you work on.
Sure. Thank you very much, then. My pleasure.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.